Hello everybody, Chef Bravo here for Bravo Plant-Based channel. You haven't heard from me for a little bit because I was trying to come up with something fun. I'd been feeling like I was doing the same thing as everybody else was doing. And what more fun could there be than spinning a wheel? So the way this is gonna go is I have some ingredients on the table and I have some written down here on the wheel. We're gonna spin it 3 times. And whichever those ingredients are, I'm gonna use them to make something. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I'm gonna do this about a dozen of these and see what kind of reaction I get. Hopefully you guys think this is fun, as do I. I'm using fairly simple ingredients, you know, nothing too exotic, things that you would have at home. And the idea is to give you guys some inspiration and some ideas of what to make with the stuff you guys have at home. Sound good? All right. So I got a bit of an audience here who's going to help me sort of pump up the noise here a little bit. So just bear with me. This is the first time I do this. I've had this guy for a couple of weeks and I just was trying to figure out the perfect way to, you know, present it. And then I decided I just need to do it and then work out the kinks as we go along. So here we go. We're going to spin the BravoPB wheel. Sound good? All right. Good. All right. I'll even work on my game show host voice. Like, spin that BravoPB wheel. Here we go. The suspense. And orange. Okay, we're going to use orange. All right. Spin that BravoPB wheel. Oh, tomatillo. Oh, wow, this would be interesting. Okay. One more time. Spin that BravoPB wheel. Oh, mushrooms. Okay, interesting. All right. So mushrooms, orange, and tomatillo. So that is the challenge for today. All right. I want to put this guy down so we can now have space here on the table. And essentially what happened is, again, I brought a whole bunch of ingredients. I'm going to allow myself to use the other ingredients that were on the wheel. However, I must use orange, tomatillo, and mushroom and come up with something. And I'm kind of regretting putting the tomatillos on that wheel there for a moment now. But so here we go. Let's come up with something. Okay, so here are the ingredients. I must use orange, tomatillo, and mushrooms all together and come up with something for you guys. And it's gotta taste good, of course, yes. You know, it's not like, well, just put it all in the blender and make a smoothie. So here we go. I hope you guys really enjoy this. All right, so right off the bat, what I'm thinking is I'm regretting a little bit to have the tomatillos in there because I'm thinking that just doesn't go together. And if you ever feel that way, break it down into simple, you know, building blocks, okay? So my thought process is this. I have some umami flavor here, okay, in the mushrooms. So it's not mushrooms anymore, it's the umami earthy flavors. I got the tomatillos, which is a sort of a tart sort of flavor, okay? And then I have a potentially sweet ingredient here. So right off the bat, what I have is 3 different flavor profiles that even though you might not think, well, orange and tomatillo and mushroom might go together, it's the flavor profiles that will complement each other nicely. So along with these 3 ingredients, what I have here is a couple of spices, some nuts, I have some veggies, I have some spinach, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, which the Brussels sprouts are calling my name here. We're gonna use some of that. I also have a couple of starches here. I got some potatoes, sweet potatoes, and some quinoa. And we have a question from the audience. Yes, sir?
Is tart the same thing as sour?
Tart. The question is tart the same as sour? Tart is sort of a combination between sweet and sour. And the tartness level, you know, it can be more acidic or less acidic, you know, more towards the sweet side. So it's somewhere in there. I'm hoping that these oranges, they have been pretty sweet as of late. So I'm hoping this is more towards the sweet and this is more towards the acidic side. What else I have? I have some rice wine vinegar. I'm sorry, not rice wine, just regular rice vinegar, which I'm thinking probably not going to use because I already got my sour tones here. I do have some spice in a green curry. I have a little bit of onions and garlic. Those we're always going to have here for the wheel because it just provides the depth of flavor. A little bit of corn, tomatoes, spinach, ginger. So here we go. Hey everybody, Chef Bravo here. I'm doing a little bit of cut and paste for you because in the filming of episode 1 of the BravoPB wheel, the camera never actually captured the dish as it was being made or once it was plated. So there was no chance for you guys to actually see the dish. So I'm here in my house, in my kitchen, and I'm going to recreate the dish for you. I am not changing any of the ingredients, you know, so no trick up my sleeve. Same ingredients as you saw me, you know, spin the wheel. And I'm basically just making it so you get to actually see what it looked like in the end. So I hope you enjoy it. Check it out. Okay, so I let my pot heat up for about a minute. I'm adding the shallots and garlic. I do want to make one distinction here. The one thing that is different, even though I said everything was the same, is the mushrooms. The mushrooms, when I spun the wheel, they were cooked, whereas these are raw. So you'll never get to see because it never really captured it. But in the original recording, the mushrooms went in a little bit later. Whereas now, because I have them raw, I'm adding them now. So I'm trying to get some caramelization in the onions, garlic, and mushrooms. Okay, so I have a little bit of caramelization here, which you'll see it's very slight. But this is the point where I'm going to go ahead and add my Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts are sliced, but they are raw, so they do need some cooking time. So everything's in there. I'm cooking at about medium heat. You might wonder, am I really cooking in a sort of separate burner on top of the stove? The answer is yes. I really like these induction burners versus my electric stove, which is hard to control and regulate, whereas this, you know, they stay on medium if I want it on medium, they stay high if I want them on high, or they turn themselves off if I want them off. So they're a lot easier to control. I have 2 of these that I'm always cooking on top of my stove, which is maybe a little weird, but hey, you know, chefs, we are weird creatures. Okay, so now you see how I'm getting more caramelization here, which is perfectly fine. In the original video, I meant to bring some vegetable broth, but I didn't, so I decided I was going to do without it, just because I wanted to make it real. Okay, because sometimes you at home will not have vegetable broth. And so I did have 2 oranges. Originally I just wanted to use 1 for a little bit of flavoring, but I ended up using 1.5 because I needed a little bit of extra liquid. So now that I have some nice caramelization going, I'm going to go ahead and add my tomatillos. And I basically just want them to cook a little bit. Okay, tomatillos are high in water content, so they'll start to sort of fall apart if I leave them in there too long. You'll also see that I ended up using some potatoes. I am taking the skin off of the potatoes. So the idea of using potatoes in this dish was to make it filling rather than just a simple sauteing of some veggies. I wanted this to be an actual dish that you would eat and be satisfied with. Okay. The one thing that is going to sort of bring all these three odd ingredients together was going to be the use of some smoked paprika. So the smoked paprika here is going to tie everything together. So the smoked paprika is in there, and now you'll see again that the bottom of the pot here is getting fairly nice and dark. That's where the orange juice comes in, so that it prevents the bottom of that pot from burning. I go ahead and add my potatoes just over the top. So once I have my lid on here, the potatoes are simply just going to heat up, and they're going to be a nice sort of base for the dish once it's all plated. Everything else is sort of cooking slash bracing. So I'm going to leave this for probably 2 minutes. Okay, so this is now cooked for a couple minutes. I just want to mention that the reason why I took the, I just turned the pot off. The reason I took the skin off of the potatoes is because I'm not a big fan of potato skins. So that's the only reason. So now, I go ahead and take that off. I'm going to get my plate here. And so with the orange juice in there, I allowed a liquid to create enough steam with the potatoes in there so that they would heat up nicely. And so over here what I have is this sort of ragu-y Brussels sprouts, orange juice, and tying it all together is the smoked paprika. So I'm gonna go ahead and just sample a little bit. Perfect. So even though the three ingredients that the wheel landed on may not have sounded like they go together, it's really just breaking it down to simple basics. The mushroom provided a umami, earthy sort of flavor. Then the tomatillos gave me a sort of sour, tart kind of tones. And then the orange juice provided sweetness. And so taking away the label of mushrooms, tomatillos, and orange juice, I end up with something that's sweet, tart, and earthy. Those flavors will always go together. And so I make sure I get all of the ingredients here. And of course, once the onions and garlic go in there, now I have a nice depth of flavor. You know, the Brussels sprouts give me extra depth, plus some greens to enjoy. The orange juice mixed with the smoked paprika provide this sweet smoky sauce. Okay, so I'm actually gonna put this over here so that I can now present the dish to you right here so you can see it clearly. And I'm just going to finish it off with a little bit of the smoked paprika around the rim, which is what I did in the original plating of this, just to give it a little sort of extra color. So here you go, episode 1 of the BravoPB wheel. We had mushrooms, orange, and tomatillos, and it actually tastes pretty good. It's a nice ragu over some starch, which provides substance. So here you go, episode 1 of the BravoPB wheel. I really hope you enjoy all of these. Please hit the subscribe button and check out all the other ones. You know, I've got the dish that I made right here. I am eating it as I should say as I'm finishing the edit, so this video goes up. I can tell you that this is going to be my dinner for tonight, and it's a very satisfying dinner. Particularly when I bite into the mushrooms and the tomatillos together with that small hint of that paprika, because it's got this, just the combination of the tartness with the earthy umami of the mushrooms. It turns out to be a really nice combination. And then of course, having the potatoes in there just makes it filling and satisfying. So I'm actually very happy with this dish. I am going to tweak it just slightly, again for color, nothing else. And it's going to be something that I'm going to serve at True North for people. And I think they're going to like it. Especially my boss, Dr. Goldhammer. I think he's going to enjoy it. He's a very, doesn't like to try a lot of new things, but every now and then I can get a smile out of him, so this will be good. I know that it's a little choppy, maybe not choppy, but just there's a lot of cut and paste coming together. So I'm trying to work out all the kinks for this. Episode 2 should flow a little bit more smoothly, but hey, this is life. This is quarantine. This is, here in Northern California, we got fires, like brutal fire season. So sometimes you just have to adjust a little bit here and there. So anyways, Chef Bravo here. Hoping you all enjoy this. And I'm just going to keep them coming. So keep watching.